Hey, so it's been a while since I uploaded. I got pretty busy with school, not gonna lie. This was my first semester back in college, and I also had a full-time job at Sega for a bit. That term ended, so I'm not with them anymore right now. So the end of the semester got really crazy, and then at the same time we decided to launch the secret project, which was romhacking.com. And if you're not familiar, romhacking.com is where you can go download patches to play Super Mario 64 ROM hacks. I'm the lead project manager of the site, so I do a lot of coding, I do a lot of telling other people what to do. We had a really chaotic launch day. There were so many bugs. We had issues with people being able to register, and I was working 12-hour days, 3 days in a row. And then after that, it kind of settled down a bit, but I needed a break. And then at the exact same time, I got my first vaccine shot, and that didn't go very well. I got pretty sick from it for like a day. Simple Flips was fine. I was not. And then a month later, we went and got the second one. It was Moderna. And when I was there, within minutes of being injected, I started to feel nauseous. And I was like, oh, am I just anxious, or like what's happening here? And then my throat tightened up, and I was like, oh no, I'm one of those 1 out of a million people who's gonna go into anaphylaxis right now. And my heart rate was going at like 150, I think. They took me into a room, and they kept an eye on me, but I ended up being okay. I mean, obviously I'm okay, I'm right here. But then, so I went home the same day, and the next day, I had a fever of 102, and that was wild. Let me tell you, I had chills so bad through 2 blankets. I was literally shaking, vibrating the bed. That's how bad I was shaking. And then a couple hours later, I had the complete opposite, where I had hot flashes that were so bad I felt like I was just gonna die. And I didn't sleep that night at all. Then it finally all subsided and I felt fine. So anyway, I haven't given up on Kanken and Boken at all. I'm still kind of studying Japanese a little bit, but I'm looking at PhD programs for linguistics, and those all require you to be not bilingual, but trilingual. And at least one of the languages has to be fluent. So for me, that's Japanese, but I need to study a third language, and I decided on Korean. Korean and Japanese are pretty similar. They actually share a lot of words in common, and grammar structures are very similar too, and I was like, awesome. So I bought a lot of books. Maybe too many books. I want to say I got 10 books. But I love them all. They're all great. I'll grab those. Oh, there they are. I told you I got a bunch of them. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 9 of them are for Korean, and then 3 of them are Cantonese. That was just kind of bonus. I really wanted the set. So I'll start off, I guess, with the Japanese books. These are Japanese books for learning Korean. It says I am a Japanese speaker. These work out well for me. This is a book for learning Chinese character-based words in Korean. So just like Japanese, there's lots of Chinese words in the language, but this explains it from a Japanese speaking viewpoint. This says Japanese syllables that end in the vowel a also end in the vowel a in Korean. So it gives basically 100% cognates, like right here. In Korean, kasu. In Japanese, also kasu. Or is it kashu? Oh no. Heck. I'll edit on here what it actually is. I can't believe I forgot. Anyway, that just means singer. So there's really just a lot of these. It goes in pretty hardcore in depth. I wish it was organized by kanji instead of pronunciation. This is a basic vocabulary book. Also starts off in Japanese. Let's go to actual words. The crows are attacking. So in this section where it's explaining like the most important verbs, here's one, kada. In Japanese, that's iku. That means to go. And it says the usage of kada is pretty much the same as in Japanese. It gives some examples of like how to say going to go do something or whatever. These are example sentences of that verb. I've also written all over it. It gets into more condensed lists here, which I've also written all over. I don't have it with me, but these come with like these red transparent sheets, and then when you put them over the red text, you can't see them anymore. And that's a good way to practice, and I thought that was pretty cool. This is basically the same book as this one, but it's for the middle level as opposed to beginner. So, same concept. Looks a little different, but yeah, the wind is turning the pages for me. Let's go. And then there's these. This is made by the same publisher as the Korean grammar and use books, and I thought that this was actually perfect. Like, I love the way it's organized. I like that it provides Japanese and Chinese together. I am a Japanese speaker, so sometimes it helps to have multiple frame of reference when I'm learning words. So then I've also written all over this too. So like, yeah. Don't be afraid to write in your books. You bought them, they're yours. Go crazy. Except for that smudge, then don't feel too good about that. This is an intermediate book. It's pretty much the same, it's just green. I'll be working on that later. This is an idiom book, and I thought this was neat. It's a bit above my level, which I think is okay, but I'll get to it. And this is the famed Korean grammar in use. I'm using this at the moment. I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit. Right now working on irregular verb endings. So like, word I just learned was kuripta, and that means to miss someone or something. And it ends in a B sound, so the B turns into a wo. Kuriwoyo, I miss you. And these other two are just the intermediate and advanced, which I'm also going to get to later. So then lastly, there's these Cantonese books I got for fun. I say fun, but they arrived in horrible shape, especially this one. Like, you see that? I mean, the back is just terrible. And then the best part is that it looks like it got run over by a truck. The rest of the book's fine. The beginner book that came, which is this one, was in fine shape. It was a bit dusty, which I was surprised by. This one also banged up. And then actually this is misprinted. So I don't understand what happened. So that's what I've been up to in the languages department. I want to try to upload more consistently, but motivation is fleeting. I'm a busy person. I don't want to make promises I can't keep, right? So I'll upload when I upload. But maybe because now I'm in the summer term and stuff with the site has settled down, I really want to have consistency with studying, so maybe uploading will motivate me to do that. If you want notifications for when I upload again, you should subscribe and tick the bell and all that, and comment for the algorithm. That stuff helps. My videos don't do as well as they used to because I went super inactive, and I could just use any help I can get.